are now officially live.
Let's do it.
Got the homie Che in the building. This is Osiris. It's Middle Maga, the Middle Maga podcast. Che, No Spoon podcast. It's been a minute, bruh.
Man,
How you
has it?
doing?
Good.
You've done a lot since we last talked.
Yeah, a lot. It seems like a lot and not a lot at the same time, if that sound makes sense.
It does. But the part that I'm looking at that's a lot because from when I started reading you, if you don't know, we're going to talk about Che here. We're going to get into the 8-foot aliens. Why are we debating aliens? But we'll get into that. And then Katt Williams is really interesting, so we're getting
Yeah.
into that too. But first things first, Che has a book out. Tell us about the book you got.
Well, it's a ebook. It's available on Amazon right now. It's called The Freedom Doctrine, Book One, My Path to Canaan. So really, it was initially supposed to be like one book, and then I was started writing it probably around June, and it just started getting longer and longer. And I said I'm going to break this up into volumes, and the kind of the purpose behind it changed, and I'm not drastically, but a little bit. This first book is about my life and my story, what I went through. Most of you who don't know my story, I was, um, you know, I played sports growing up, and then got involved in streets and the gangs and that type of life, and then it led me to prison. I spent there for 15 years, and it just really just talks about the transformation that I went through as far as evolving from being in the streets and the criminal to being socially conscious, and socially conscious in the wrong way. At first I was a very, very hardcore Marxist, and that was what kind of took me down this path of you know personal evolution, enlightenment, and whatnot. And so, went through many different religions, didn't believe in God for a while, believed I was God for a while. I mean, it's a story of, the life and how I got here today. And my belief and my faith in God, my belief in my family, my belief in, our country and our nation, and how I feel like we need to do something about it. We need to do something to change it. And so that's what this book is about. It's basically just laying the foundation for what this whole series is going to be about. As most of you don't know, I run a class for men that are in the same situation I was in, getting out of prison or addiction, or so on and so forth. And I just became very, very disheartened by the curriculum that they have, and I think it's this curriculum that puts you in the same path. It feeds the revolving door of prison, and so I decided to write my own, and that's basically what this whole book and the series is going to be about, is writing our own program towards freedom, personal freedom, overcoming your vices, being the person, being the reaching your full potential. And so that's the gist of it. I mean, in a nutshell, but there's a lot more to it though.
Absolutely. You started out the book with a strong quote. I did not get to finish it. I wish I would have known earlier. I thought I was going to finish it today, but I couldn't find a way to turn it into an audiobook. I do a lot of audiobooks now, but I think you can probably through Kindle. I just don't have Kindle. But I
Mhm,
downloaded it and I had it. So I was reading it just straight off the computer. And you started it out with a great quote.
mhm.
And I'm going to read a little bit of it and tell me, what your thought process was starting this out. He started this out, his book, and let me share the screen here. So you click the link in the chat for the book support. It's $8, just $8. I got it yesterday. Get it instantly.
Yeah.
Purpose from Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. Nipsey Hussle was, a fascinating person. But from Nipsey Hussle, find your purpose or you're wasting air. Every man has a purpose. Without a reason to get up every morning and do the thing that drives you, life becomes monotonous and dry. Without a clear goal to strive for, the flame that motivates you slowly starts to extinguish. This is why purpose is everything. Did you go through that type of journey?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, purpose is what gets you up. I mean, there's a saying now that everybody says now, all right, NPC, non player character, and it's like is interesting because you find people that kind of fit that mold where they're kind of just going through life and they're just waking up, wake up, use the bathroom, get dressed, go to work, come home, watch TV, look at YouTube, look at
Wait, Jay,
watch.
why? Wait, you coming on the podcast? You dissing me, bro?
I'm not I'm not
No,
dis- I'm not
I'm just playing.
disrespecting you,
That
but it's
is.
what you're looking at on YouTube, right? I mean,
Oh, okay.
people are watching, funny cat tricks and
Yeah.
babies falling. And that's what they're doing and Pornhub and OnlyFans and what's the girl's name? Sexy Red and all that type of, I mean, it's the things that they're doing. It's not feeding it's not nourishing them in any way. You're out of shape mentally, physically, and spiritually. You don't eat right, you don't exercise, you don't read, you don't do anything. And these people are just going through lives and going through their lives with no direction and no aim. They're just waiting for the next dopamine hit. They're waiting for the next paycheck. They're waiting for their, everything is just monotonous and it's dry. And then we wonder why we're so easily manipulated when the powers that be decide to do so, because we don't have a purpose. And they just say, hey, today everybody wear a mask, and everybody goes, okay, put the mask on. Hey, now everybody stay home. Okay, stay home. It's like, everybody, there's aliens. Okay, there's aliens. It's like we're constantly being led in this kind of, just whatever the powers that be tell us to go, we go. We don't question, we don't ask, because we don't have an original thought unless it's coming from TikTok. And so purpose is so important, especially for men. And that's what I've seen a lot of people. When you don't have purpose, then you drift. And when you start to drift, you drift into anything, and you drift into the addiction and the crime and the laziness and the just stagnation. And finally you just start regressing and devolving. And that's what it seems like humanity is doing these days. We're devolving, we're going backwards. And when you get into it, there is an agenda for that.
Yep. So the book breaks it down, and man, you know what I like about the book is so easy to go through. Just your writing style flows so naturally through. It's a very, very smooth start to it, and goes into it very, very well. These are a lot of the topics that you talked about on your podcast and
Mhm.
everywhere else. But in the book form, you can set the scene. I'm a long form person. I really
Mhm.
am. I do these shorts. I do these short forms, and I don't know why. It's for the YouTube. Basically, I'm become a slave to the algorithm. I don't even like them, but I like the writing the book because you can really take your time to lay this and map everything out. It's even better than a long form podcast, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a writer, you know what I mean? And writing is something that comes easy to me. So, I'm actually there's parts in this book where, especially when I get into telling my story, I have 4 interludes in there where I tell short stories, and they're not particularly true stories. They're not particularly about me. They're basically just based on experiences that I have either witnessed or been a part of, and it's almost in a fictional form. It's a story, and that's what I like doing. Like I can do that easily. You know what I mean? So it's just been and I think it's something that it kind of conveys the message in a deeper way. You know what I mean? When you're actually able to, I can tell you about a certain situation, but then when you actually kind of place yourself mentally in that situation and see the emotions and see the thought process that goes into it through characters and whatnot, it kind of grows, it kind of materializes, and it becomes real. And so that's you know one of the things that I'm introducing. I also have a Substack. If those that don't know about it, then I have a Substack where I write a bunch of articles and short stories and whatnot. It's
Yeah,
called
for sure.
yeah.
What's the URL for that?
It's if you go to Substack, you can just look up Che Writes, like
Nice.
WRITES.
Nice. And the chapters here laid out purpose, the problem, the family, the man, gender side, credentials, disclaimer, the foundation, interludes, lost lessons, power, freedom. Freedom is a big theme here, and I talked to you with you about this before. Would you
Mhm.
describe yourself as having some libertarian tendencies?
Man, it's interesting because you know, I would like to say yes, but I want to say that especially lately, right? As of late, my views are kind of changing when it comes towards libertarianism and what freedom really is, and I think we need to define that. I think one of the problems that we have in this nation is that freedom has been used against us in some in a sort of way to where we are allowing anything. One thing that we need to establish is boundaries. We need to establish our moral code and ethics. And sometimes when we start saying, live and let live, and what you do over there doesn't affect me, the other side has an agenda and they take advantage of that. And so they start to exploit those things. And we are seeing that this today where people are actually taking this sort of a liberty doctrine and turning it into a lawlessness doctrine. And this lawlessness doctrine actually equates to no morality, nihilism, where anything goes and do as thou wilt. And so what happens is that when you have a society that does not have a strong foundation on what it believes to be right and wrong, where there's concrete definitions, then the powers that be will come in and start to apply those definitions because they're going to be necessary. Logic is always going to prevail. It's just a matter of who's going to control the logic. So, that's kind of an issue right now that I'm kind of playing with. I believe in freedom, but I believe that freedom comes from living a disciplined life, and it comes from living a life that's within the boundaries of logic and reason.
Yeah, well thought out. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm for freedom," and then that's it. I mean, freedom is something you got to really work for and earn. Now, the headline for this thumbnail, we were talking a little bit about this. The Miami incident is what I'll call it. I believe it happened on New Year's Day. Actually, if I'm looking at it. It happened a while ago. It didn't even happen last night, to my knowledge. I just saw it today. You might have seen this in the news. If you
Mhm.
haven't, think 2024 is coming in. Wow, we saw the South Korean politician get neck acupuncture unsolicited and almost got offed the other day to ring in the new year. And we're seeing all kinds of court cases, craziness. We saw that they released a Georgia, well, a whole 2020 election type of breakdown on the fraud and the problems with it. And now we're talking about aliens again, not just Tucker Carlson. I mean, this video here is just going to show you the cops. I just want you to take a look at this if you can see it. There's, I don't know, is it 100 cop cars? It's a lot of cop cars out here. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, dang, what's going on? So because I'm asking questions, people go straight to, do you believe in the aliens? And I'm like, I'm just asking the question. I see cars that look like the end of the Blues Brothers, and they say it's because 50 kids had sticks and were fighting, and I say no, that's not what happened. I'm not stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm not going to aliens or anything like that. But this type of police response is not for 50 kids with sticks, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on this, Jay? This whole craziness.
I mean, I think I posted about it on my Instagram. Um, and I might here's the only thing that I say to it. I don't know what it was. Um, they say it was kids fighting. That's kind of a big response for some kids fighting. And then they say there's 8 to 10 foot shadow beings or aliens. The only thing that I say, and I say this all the time to everybody, like, let's just say, let's hypothetically say that it was aliens, right? And it were 8 to 10 foot shadow beings, whatever you want to say. Do you believe that the government, the law enforcement, and the media would tell you it was? If you know what I'm saying? If do you believe that they will say, Hey, guess what? Today, man, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was 10-foot aliens walking around out there. Do you believe that they would tell you? So I personally don't. You know what I mean? I don't believe that they would tell you, so I don't know. I'm not telling you that that they were. I'm just saying it doesn't I don't trust the people that are conveying the message. Let me just simplify it as that.
And that is the heart of my concern, because we have the Epstein news that's been coming out. People have given me the feedback. Why are you talking about this? The Epstein stuff came out. For me, it's more about what you just said. Do you trust the government? And that goes towards the Epstein stuff. Do you trust the government to tell you the truth? That's what I don't. And Ray said you'd have to be stupid to believe it's aliens. I'm not even ruling aliens out. I'm not saying it's more than a 1% chance,
Right.
but I don't know what it was. I'm not even getting. This is the same thing that we talked about with the spy balloons. I was like, I don't know what these spy balloons are. I don't know what's happening. There was a story about military
Mhm.
people saying that it was a device up in the sky that was doing stuff they couldn't explain and messing with their systems. I was like, I don't know what's happening. All I know is they're telling us stuff, and we don't have the power to hold anybody accountable. We can't even hold them accountable when it's an obvious lie. Just remind, it's 50 kids with sticks. I mean, come on. I'm not stupid. It's something else happened. I don't know what happened, but that's not the response for 50 kids with sticks. And we have no way of holding them accountable. You talked about COVID, the COVID response. They act like they never said the stuff during COVID. So how are you going to hold them accountable for the Epstein Island? I mean, that's on another level. They hiding way more stuff behind that.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
I said I don't think it was aliens. I think it was Barron Trump. I think he was just going. He was walking around looking for a subway.
You don't know what I mean. That's my whole thing. I can't tell you what it is. I'm not going to speculate on what it is. I wasn't there. I just seen these little clips. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that if they were 10-foot beings walking around, and everybody with a smartphone would have taken some type of video of it, so that, or and even the kids fighting, you know what I mean, there would have been some type of video of it. We never seen any video of anything other than like a video you showed here, and I think there's a couple other ones where just showing the cops response. I see videos of people fighting all the time on Twitter. You know what I mean? If there's a melee at the mall, trust me, it's gonna get caught on tape. So I don't I don't I don't rule out anything. All I'm saying is I don't trust the people that are telling me. And if it was something dangerous, spy balloon, if let's say we were being spied upon by a foreign, adversary, and we were being attacked by a foreign adversary, I don't trust the people to tell us that. And that, it goes, and we saw that play out many different times. You can post something. We had the Damar Hamlin situation where he falls out on the field and almost dies playing football. And when people say, hey, maybe it's from the experiment that we all take, everybody says, well, how, you don't know that. No, I don't know that, but I'm going to tell you this. I know this is what I do know. What I do know is that if it was from that, they weren't going to tell us that.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt, that if it was and they knew it was and they sat there and they said, this is what it was, I know that's not going to, that's they wouldn't tell us that. So either way, I mean, when things like this happen, I just don't trust the people are going to really tell us what it is. And that's what it all comes down to. Either you believe the people that are telling you the information or you don't. I just happen to be a person that doesn't.
And you know what? At least me, I don't get much pushback on that. It's funny, and the best test for me is on X, is where, talking to people in person, I don't have 20 people to kind of get a range on what they're feeling. But on X, I can kind of tell. So I'll put a question like that out, pretty similar to what you do. Like, well, do you think the government would tell you? And nobody really responds. Because pretty much most people don't believe the government would tell you. And so they just ignore that question there and go with whatever side. It kind of reminds me of everything in our country. It's almost like you have to go to a side. I don't have to go to a side. I don't know what happened. I just don't. I
And
don't
that,
know.
yeah, can I take that? I mean,
Yeah.
can I take that side? I don't know. It's almost like if you don't say that they're not aliens, you're stupid. If you say that they are they are aliens, you're stupid. It's you know what I mean? Like, look, I don't know what's going on. I'm seeing these little clips like you're seeing. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? I've seen people
Mhm.
running all the time. I don't know. Who knows what is? On the internet, you can find anything you want to find, and you can doctor anything you want to find. I don't know, but I know this. I do know if there was a real threat and there was something really out there that could threaten the establishment's hegemony of power, they would not tell us that. I guarantee you that. That's the side I'm on. So
I don't think there's one person in the chat. I know we have a small group, there's people on the different spectrum here. That's kind of why I'm on the middle. I like the populist left. I like the right. I like libertarians. But I don't think there's one person in the chat that would say, yeah, the government would tell us. So, but the discussion is now going to a different place, Jay. This is where Tucker is kind of, I don't know if you've seen Tucker Carlson getting into the UFO stuff. And I think he's getting into it because same reason why we're talking about it. Whether it's true or not, something's not right with what we're being told. And that's basically what the Epstein stuff comes down to. They said he killed himself. Okay, who believes that? That's the story. That's the official story. So it's the same type of fundamentally. I know what they did was way worse, but fundamentally it's people with control, government lying to the people. But let me ask you this philosophically, do you think it's possible that there's a lot of questions really here? In general, do you think in the universe that the universe is huge, but do you think we are the only living beings with intelligence? Or do you think that it is possible that some of them are here on Earth with us right now?
yeah, I think it's possible.
You said yes?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
And what that means is greater. Elon Musk says this all the time. Either it's a greater than zero chance or it's not. It might be 0.00000. I mean, it might be close to zero, but I can't say it's a 0% chance.
No, I don't. You can't. How could you say it's I mean, that's almost saying I'm for certain. I haven't explored the universe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I run into some real funny people all the time that I don't believe are from this world. So
we might have been talking to the aliens, man.
I don't doubt it. And who's to say that they're superior in intellect than us? Because I've ran into some people that are like they're not from Earth and they're really stupid.
It could really happen, man. But I think it's greater than zero possible. Now, I want to go over to the Katt Williams because that might take a little bit to break down. If we're gonna, we'll see how deep we go with it. If you don't know, there was an interview that broke the internet, and I can't remember the last one that broke the internet like this. I really just honestly can't. You can Kanye had the Alex Jones one.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say Kanye's interviews kind of.
I think this is bigger than Kanye's, though. I mean, from in my realm, the Kanye one was bigger. But I mean, just in general, like this one hit all angles and all people of different backgrounds and people who don't even know about politics. Right now it's at, last I looked, I think it was at 17 million in a day or two or something like that. It's insane.
When I watched it last night, it was at 11.
20 million views. This is bigger than the Ye and Kanye. The Alex Jones.
Oh yeah.
Alex Jones. This because that was on InfoWars too. So if that was on YouTube, maybe it would be up there. But 20 million views in 2 days for a long form. I guess long form isn't dead. You just have to have the right long form. 2 hours and 46 minutes. That might be one of the biggest boosts of a interview that dropped that's over 2.5 hours. I don't know if Rogan has stuff like that. I'm gonna start out with it. I think the first, I'm gonna skip through, but the first 30 minutes Cat Williams was like somebody let him out the cage, man.
It came out
He was like
swinging.
a lion that hadn't been fed for a month. That came out like, "Rrr."
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts on the interview before I play a clip here?
Well, the first thought that comes to mind, just as a someone that makes content, and you can agree with this. The big winner was Shannon Sharpe and his and his channel. So first of and I think it is bigger. Well, I think it's bigger than anything Kanye did because it actually lasted. Kanye's, they don't last long. He walks out of interviews, he gets upset. Katt actually sat there the whole time for almost 3 hours and talked. You know, I I think there's some truth to a lot of what he's saying, but I also think that there's two sides to the story, or there's other sides to the story. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was successful for Shannon Sharpe. I'll tell you that.
Let's start there. It is because Che creates, I create, so it's very quick that I go to that as well. And my first thing was, I'm a big Shannon Sharpe fan because he took over for basically, it was Skip Bayless back when I watched sports. I don't watch it much anymore at all, basically. But it was Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. And then Shannon Sharpe did his show with Skip Bayless. And the first couple years of that show, just some of the best sports commentary. And why? Shannon Sharpe, if you don't know, this brother does his homework. He puts in work. He runs a very organized ship. And I actually think this is a big deal where you said this is good for Shannon Sharpe, because who was the big person other than Shannon Sharpe? It was Vlad TV, still big. And
Yeah.
that's a platform. I can't speak for those celebrities who choose to go on there. I would never go on Vlad TV.
No,
I don't
no.
trust that. That is some trash right there. But it's good to have these people. I think I like Joe Budden. What do you think? Do you watch Joe Budden at all anymore?
I'm not a fan of Joe Budden. I'm really not a fan of Shannon Sharpe either, to be
Oh,
honest
really?
with you. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like the show Undisputed. I wasn't a big fan of it. Um, I don't know. It wasn't my. I like sports, and I watched a lot of sports, and um, there's certain people. I'm not a big fan of Stephen A. Smith either. I'm very selective in how I do it. I love, and it's probably my favorite podcast right now. I listen to it every day. Is the Cam and Mace one? I think that is the is what it is.
Okay, tell me about that. I've seen the clips. I'm like, dang. Mace, I mean, I grew up listening to Mace, and it's cool
Yeah.
to see him doing a podcast. He had a funny take on the whole P. Diddy stuff and all that. Tell me about the Mace podcast. I don't watch it, so tell me about it.
It's a sport. It's a sports podcast.
The Mace one
Right.
is?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Cameron and Mace, and they have guest analyst Maurice Claret is on there. OJ Simpson is on there.
Wait, what did you say?
Bro, you haven't seen you gotta check it out. I'm
Wait,
telling you.
wait.
And
I
it's
thought you
fu-
said
it's-
OJ was on their podcast with Cameron and Mace. What
He is.
did you,
he is.
the
He's
the juice? Not
the
like a
juice.
regular.
No, he's on there every week, every Tuesday.
What?
I'm dead serious.
What is OJ? I can't lie. OJ was always a charismatic dude.
He's funny.
Was he? Is he good on it?
Oh yeah, look, but you got to remember, OJ used to do sports commentary before all that happened. Like,
Yeah.
he was on NBC. He was commentating on games. So he knows the game. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? And he was probably one of the best running backs to ever live. So you know, they put him on. He talks sports. That's what they talk about. They talk sports every. That's the whole show. They don't really. But it's, to me, what I like about it is, I don't know if you noticed, but Cameron and Mace were actually really good basketball players in high school, and they had an opportunity to go further, but Mace caught his break, and they started, rapping, and they made money. Why worry about college when you're making millions of dollars? So, I just think it's almost like the conversations you have about sports with your friends. And that's what I think makes it so relatable. And you have guys like OJ on there and Maurice Claret, Maurice Claret was in prison for a while after he his whole, situation didn't work out with the NFL. And I really I like it. You're giving these guys a chance. I know people feel what they feel about OJ, but the bottom line, if we're going to believe in a system or a justice system, he got found not guilty. And so, and when you do notice certain things that they don't talk about him when he was a prolific player, but that's one of my favorite. I mean, because it's funny, and it's informative. But I think those two, as far as sports, I would rather listen to them than I don't know. Shannon Sharpe is cool. I think this is really good for him as far as crossing over. But I don't think that he's like, because even in this Katt Williams interview, it wasn't like he was like digging. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like he was really like. I mean, he didn't really have to because Katt Williams kind of went.
I know. So, but that's actually very good, though. That is a skill. Not to overstep the interview. Let me play this clip here. This is, and I think it's important because it shows that there's a demand that the corporate media isn't meeting. What? Maybe is he backed by corporate money? Is he backed by Fox? I don't know.
I know that the DraftKings is
okay.
But before you play the clip, like I that's one of the things that I like about some of these. There is a new media out there, right? There's a new media. People aren't going to whether it's politics, whether it's culture and entertainment, whether it's sports. People aren't listening to the mainstream, titans of the industry anymore. There is a new media out there, and people have new points of view that are not conventional, and they're relevant though. People want to hear them, and I think that Shannon Sharpe being able to sit down and talk to these guys, people like, Cam and Mace having their podcast. You have, other people like yourself, like myself, like people like LeBron, and like we are the new media. And that's one of the things what Cameron talks about on the sports. He says, I'm the new journalist. Like this is what it is. We didn't go through the college system. We didn't go through the good old boy system of, scratch your back, I'll scratch my back, I scratch yours type of thing. These are just people with raw information and a raw way of presenting it. And I feel like this is where this is going. We're done with the Don Lemons. We're done with the Joy Reids. We're done with the Rachel Maddows and the Fox News. We're done with all those things. Those things do Sean Hannity, all those people, we're done with them. There's a new media here. And so find who you listen to, and that's who you go with.
Yep. And that's why I think it's a win. I think this is a win. And that might be the biggest takeaway. I knew that was a big takeaway for me, but now that you're breaking it down like that, let me play this clip here. I think that it goes along with it where Shannon Sharpe's like, they come on the show and my thing is not to judge them. It's to have a good conversation because Shannon's friends with all these people who kind of have beef with each other. And here's his approach to it, which I really respect. So even if he is corporate backed, his podcast is not a corporate podcast at all, at least the style of it. Let me bring this back here.
I'm going to try to bring you some of the biggest celebs, entertainers, and athletes that I can possibly bring. And I'm going to allow them to have a conversation and maybe tell you something or share something with you, Ocho, that they've never said, or they've said it such a long time ago you don't remember it. But I want that entertainer, that celeb, or that athlete to share some things with you and give you a different glimpse of who or she or who they are, he or she. That was it. I never said I was a journalist. I never professed to be a journalist. I'm an entertainer. I have entertainers. And again, if you want hard-hitting questions, 60 Minutes is the platform from you. Dateline, 48 Hours. Go to Lester Holt. Go to somebody that does that.
This you got to understand. Those aren't safe places. Those aren't places where you can get what you want to say off. They dictate everything.
Yes. So
when you go that route.
Ocho, you make a great point. So let me ask you this. You think Katt Williams was going to open up as much as he did on any other platform?
Absolutely not.
And that's why he went off. If you saw that clip when he was on that Atlanta radio station, where he cut up on that host. That's why he did it. He was on a more corporate radio station outlet trying to promote something, and the host came at him sideways, and he just cut her. I mean, with the jokes, just absolutely annihilated her because it wasn't a safe place. But because it was a safe place, he went ham, man. He came out the gate, and Shannon wasn't ready for it, but he handled it well.
This is the reckoning. 2024.
Let me fast forward a little bit through here.
Yeah, this particular alcohol is stronger than.
And he wasn't even drunk at that point. They had just sat down. And because Shannon had asked him, was he getting drunk already? No, he was just heated. And just to set it up, this is a whole, I'm not even an expert in everything that's happening here. I didn't know these guys had beef like that. But it's within the comedics. Were you aware of all that? This beef?
No, I mean, not really. I didn't know.
Yeah, they all these comedians, Steve Harvey and others, and Kevin Hart.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike.
Wait.
And Katt Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's 3 quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played?
That's the first thing I want to talk to you about. So I'm gonna bring that back, but about the woman part and playing these roles in Hollywood, he really got into that. But just to set the scene, this is in Friday After Next, I believe. Yeah. He was the pimp. I haven't seen that in so long. I don't even remember that
Money
one.
Mike.
Yeah, he was Money Mike, and what is it, Ricky Smiley? That was a while back. I remember when that came out and it kind of blew up. People were talking about it. You might set the scene if you know. Set the scene.
It was Friday After Next. That was the third Friday. It was probably like early 2000s. And he played Money Mike, which was, I guess he didn't really say that he was a pimp, but he was a pimp, I guess. And he was the boyfriend of the Craig, played by Ice Cube, the girl he was trying to get with. Basically, he treated her bad, and they had a little shop and everything, and he was just a flamboyant, extravagant pimp. And Ricky Smiley's character wasn't really, he didn't really have any main parts. Like he was the crackhead that stole their presents and the rent money. So that's what the whole story is about. They didn't have the rent money, so they're trying to get the rent money back, and it was Ricky Smiley that stole it. But he only really appeared. I don't really remember him too much in the movie. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have a big role. I saw the thing that Ice Cube had put out when he was saying that, that Katt Williams, like Ricky Smiley saying he was supposed to play that, and basically Ice Cube says like, everybody tries out for different roles. We didn't think that he would be good for that, so we, but Katt Williams did really well with the Money Mike scene, and so he just he said that he had a really small part at first, and then it just grew and grew as they saw how well he was doing in that scene. So,
Yeah, so it is. I'm not taking any sides. I don't know, obviously, a lot about what's happening here, but it is a little weird to come out and say, "Hey, I was supposed to have the role," kind of almost to make yourself sound like you should have. I don't know. That's a little weird to me. But Katt Williams has the resume and the performance. I mean, this dude is funny, and I mean, I just look for his scene out of movies. I don't even watch the movies. I want to see the clips from his scenes. They are absolutely hilarious. But let's get into the Hollywood part. And is this true? We're going to get into this part about, does Hollywood really, is it tailored towards making black, however you want to say, black men, actors, putting on dresses and acting feminine? That's where he's getting at.
A man.
Well, I didn't know
He shouldn't be able, you wouldn't let a athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He couldn't have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one, why no, he was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he, what? So Ricky Smiley knows this, and I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie, but I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days? The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom. And that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams.
Let me pause that because he's saying a lot. I'm going to keep it going. But what he's saying is, for the character, that Ricky Smiley was okay with the character getting raped in the bathroom, and Katt Williams is going to go through why he was not. He's portraying himself, whether it's true or not, I have no idea, that he, and I have no reason to not believe him, that he has integrity. Not only has he been successful, he's talented, he writes his own stuff, and he has integrity. That's what he's trying to say here. He was like, I'm not going to be raped in the bathroom. That's not going to happen for me.
Had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy, right, where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves a rape. And rape is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting raped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting raped. So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was gonna play Money Mike. No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Katt Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them.
So he's saying for the character, he wrote the lines for the character. So what is he even talking about? But that was a very interesting part. I'm going to go until where he talks about, there's a funny part where he said, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if he was joking or not about his contract.
That's how I already know that I'm going to be funnier than you. What he told everybody was, Katt Williams, don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steve and Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now, then. He was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded.
Okay, let's stop there. That was wild, dog. He said that he said he had in his contract that another dude had to wear a dress. I think he was joking there, right? I don't know. He's factually right. Well, he's factually right in that in the movie that Katt Williams, I think it was called First Sunday, that Ricky Smiley did wear a dress. He played that old woman, that old church woman.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I think he was just joking. That's a crazy joke. But let's talk about this. Throughout this whole interview, he talked about trying to succeed with dignity. He even got to the point where he said, my butthole. I think that's how he said it. I don't think he even said ass. My butthole was clean, unlike others. And I don't think that was a joke. What do you think about this? First, let's talk about is there something in particular with black men having to put on dresses?
I don't know. I mean, they say that maybe. You see it a lot. I think that a lot of comedians are willing to do that type of stuff. They're willing to stoop to that level to get a laugh out of people. So I don't know if it's particularly, race based or whatnot. It could be. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, but I think that when you're dealing with Hollywood, there's a lot of weird stuff in Hollywood, right? You're dealing with a lot of people that are so like this is how I see Hollywood. And when you break down like just the world in general, like you have two different kinds of energy in the world. You have masculine energy and feminine energy. And because Hollywood plays towards, telling stories and in a really emotional manner, you have a lot of feminine energy. So you have a lot of homosexuality. You have a lot of people that are very in tune with emotions, feelings. I mean, you can watch certain actors and see how they channel certain characters. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of things going on in Hollywood that is playing with a different realm, spiritual realm, so to speak. And so because of that, you're going to get a lot of different personalities. You're going to get a lot of different types of energy. And I think that it's not uncommon for any actor or actress to be compromised through sex. And yeah, I think that stuff happens. I don't know if this is some, Illuminati ritual or anything like that, but I know that, I mean, I think that that's just part of life, right? That's a part of life. Like if I can get you into a compromising situation, then I can control you. And when there's billions of dollars on the line and, everybody's trying to get a piece of it, why not? The stakes get higher. And that's the thing. Whether it's in Hollywood or whether it's in Washington, D.C., when you're talking about power and money and politics, things get ugly. You know what I mean? I mean, we see politicking in our own jobs, whether you work at Target or, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, you're going to see politicking for power and positions and money and all that type of stuff. And you were just talking about it on a higher level. So I don't see why people wouldn't, I think there are people that sell themselves, sell their souls, sell their sexuality in order to get to certain places. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh man, it's a secret cabal." I don't know. I mean, you can call the clique at work that promotes their own a clique, a cabal, if you want to. I don't care what you call it, but the reality is that there's things going on. I think the Katt Williams I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. I also think that there's a lot of, I'm not in the club. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of that. I think if you watch I didn't watch the whole interview. I'm not gonna lie. I watched probably an hour and a half of it. I fell
You
asleep.
got enough of it. I saw the whole thing, but you got enough of it.
Yeah, and the thing about it was that I noticed when he came in hot, right? He came in hot. But when Shannon Sharpe was asking him questions like about his childhood, about his parents, it kind of stalled him out a little bit.
Yep.
He kind of stumbled around. He kind of said that this is when he started talking about, I read 3,000 books in a year or something like that. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? So those are the type of things like 3,000. I did the math. 3,000 books in a year, you almost have to read 9 books a day. You know what I'm saying? So, but things like that, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't know if he came in there with an agenda, and then once the questions started coming at him, it was like, I don't really know, because he was kind of vague on some of those things. So I think that he wanted to set the record straight and give his side of the story, but there's always other sides to the story. I saw an interview, and they were bringing up recently about with Kevin Hart on the Breakfast Club, and what he was saying, like Katt Williams keeps pointing fingers at Hollywood, pointing fingers at the white man, and the reality is that Katt Williams, you messed up your deals. You didn't show up to work. You didn't show up to the promotional shoots and to the tours that they had. You didn't do it, and then you want to start getting mad at everybody else. I think there's some truth in that too. You know what I mean? I don't think it always goes one way. Just like anything else, man. It's just there's a lot of things involved, and I think that it was a great interview. I'll say that. Like I said, shout out to Shannon.
Yeah, he came in hot. Shannon said because I watched all of Shannon's after show to break it down. He said he came in wanting to start with the childhood stuff. But I think you're absolutely right. I think it's pretty clear. And Katt said it in the interview. He said, I wanted to find the right person, the right time to respond basically to all this stuff that's been going on. And that's what he came in hot with. And then as soon as Shannon kind of went to the family stuff, it did cool down, which it actually worked for the interviews because it couldn't be hot the whole time. So it cooled down, then it got hot again, and it was perfect to keep you through the whole time. But do you think there's anything? I actually believe that he was a genius. I know the numbers could be inflated, but I never knew that. Do you think? Do you not believe that, or what's your thought? They said he basically was like a child prodigy.
Yeah, I mean, why can't he?
Yeah.
You have to be real intelligent to be funny. You know what I mean? You have to be real quick on your feet. You have to have a really good intellect to be funny like the way he is, especially to improvise the way that he does. So yeah, I can see that easily.
Yep. Let's go. Let's take it. We got a question for you. I do know the answer to this one, but I want Che to break it down. He's the guest. Why, Che? Why is it called No Spoon?
Oh, see, it's a take on the scene from The Matrix. If anybody's seen the first Matrix movie, there was a scene when Neo went to go see the Oracle, and the kid was moving the spoon with his mind. The spoon was bending back and forth, and he told Neo, don't try to bend the spoon. That is impossible. Only realize the truth that there is no spoon. So if you look at the Matrix, once you understand that you're living in a Matrix, then you can bend the Matrix to your reality. So that's kind of where I got that whole idea from.
Yeah. Right now, everybody in the chat is yelling, no, because I played my Battlestar Galactica clip that I played, got my video taken down, but I'll try to navigate this. This is my favorite movie probably of all time.
Yeah, one of mine as well.
So Neo doesn't have all his powers yet or whatever, and he's with this child who's bending a spoon, as just like Che said. If you've never seen the movie, I mean, it's so old now. A lot of young people haven't seen this. And
it's
when
crazy that it seems like it's old.
I know.
It just came out.
Yeah, and the child's bending the spoon because the reality that they're living in is nothing more than it's a realistic virtual reality. And Neo is now just realizing that.
Do not try and bend the spoon. Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
That is one of the iconic scenes from the movie. And then I like how they do it here where he bends it just a little bit. Neo was able to bend the spoon just a little bit. What a great movie. That's a great name for the podcast, No Spoon Podcast. There is no spoon.
Yep. There is no spoon.
Never seen The Matrix. Man. Okay, let's stop the show for a second. What movie was it? My wife said, I was talking to my wife about A Few Good Men. And then my wife had the audacity to say she hasn't seen A Few Good Men. Now, I don't see a lot of movies.
Man, that's a good one.
I know. I'm not a big movie person, so for me to say somebody else hasn't seen a movie is... But I was like, are you serious? We have to see A Few Good Men. But Screwed Up Rebellion, if there's nothing else that you do, you must see The Matrix. That is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just perfection.
And you know what? A lot of it's interesting because the people will know certain phrases from these movies. A Few Good Men, we already know
absolutely
you can't handle the truth. There it is. That comes from that movie. I was talking to somebody the other day about Taxi Driver. Remember Taxi Driver?
Yeah. What that one was? You talking to me?
See, and I had said, and he was a young kid, and I said, "You talking?" He was like, "Yeah, I remember. I know." I said, "Well, that's what that comes from."
Yep. Man, those were good classic entertainment from back in the day. I was watching Broken Traditions, and he broke down, and I like this because this bro has really good takes. So when the Katt Williams interview went through, that's one of my first channels to go through to see like what's his takeaway.
So recently,
and he talked about it here, and it's very similar to what I was thinking about too. Katt Williams actually had some very profound philosophical type of statements in that. It wasn't all just jokes, and you can take a lot away from it.
Day-to-day lifestyle when it comes to the black community. So Katt Williams, he said this right here.
It seems to me, Katt, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
No.
You wanted to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. Then I'm not being messy by saying, hold on, that never happened, it's untrue, and there are hundreds of witnesses for each thing I'm saying. And this is the age of truth, and the truth doesn't need to be scared of the fact that people tell lies.
In the black community, actually in the community all, right? Black community, white community, Hispanic, wherever, like whatever community that you're part of. The winners cannot allow the losers to rewrite the history. Can't happen because we've been allowing a lot of the losers to rewrite our history and our image, and I think it's now time to come to a stop. But before we get into that, here on Broken Traditions, we're about breaking away from traditions of toxic black culture. If you have that kind of mindset, you're like...
He's doing a promo, and he's friend of the show, and I really want you to listen to the promo. Just search Broken Traditions in YouTube. You'll find it. Sub up. You won't be disappointed. See, I have gotten very aggressive against the identitarianism. I don't know if you've seen that, Jay, or not.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I've been very aggressive. I'm going to go back to Broken Traditions in a second. I've been very aggressive against it. But I did a podcast with the homie Stephen Ignoramus, and we talked about it. I am not against positive. If you're an identitarian in a positive manner, in my opinion, I'm not against that. I mean, I used to be kind of like that back in the day. And I think Broken Traditions is that exactly. He is not trying to invade anybody else's rights. He wants nothing but black excellence. And I want nothing but that, same thing. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, you guys subscribe to Broken Traditions. That's my boy, man.
Yep.
I mess with him tough,
That kind of content, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, in the pinned comments, I'll leave a link to my newsletter so I could directly contact you guys when I do giveaways, when I do live streams, and when I post content. Also, for the channel members, you guys get to see this content a few hours early. I appreciate you guys. If you want to become a channel member, hit the join button below. And channel membership starts at $1.99 a month, goes up to $4.99 for premium. Appreciate you guys. All right. So, Katt Williams saying this: the winners cannot allow the losers to rewrite the history. That is a big line. I think it's important for the winners not to allow the losers to rewrite the history, especially when it comes to Black culture, because the Black community in America, let's be real, we are already behind the 8 ball collectively, right? We are behind the 8 ball. We try to climb our way up just to get to ground zero. If we could continue like this, we're going to be way behind. I mean, you see the spending, you see all types of things that we could talk about in the Black community that is problematic, right? So the first thing I want to discuss is the need to create racism. If you guys are new to my channel, I talk about this multiple times, where we feel the need to create racism. I call it manufactured racism, right? It could be a situation such as Jussie Smollett that is creating a whole racial narrative that he was attacked by 2 MAGA men 2 o'clock in the morning trying to get Subway sandwiches in Chicago in the polar vortex. This man created this lie so long, he's willing to go to jail to stand on this lie. Or something a little more minor, such as Bubba Wallace saying that there's a noose in his garage. It's like, we need the racism to be created for the narrative to keep going on. So they gotta keep creating the narrative for racism because they need to be a victim, right? They need to be a victim. They need to be, I guess, attached to the history of the racism that we did have, right? So our ancestors had it a lot worse than we have it now in 2024, but we still want to be attached to that. And for some people, for whatever reason, instead of being grateful that our ancestors went through what they went through so we could be where we at, so we could do what we have to do to continue to push forward, but instead we want to stay stuck in that position. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like
I'll stop it right there. I really respect that take. He said, hey, we're not going to ignore like the past didn't happen, but how do you react to it? And it does tie into Katt Williams to me. He said, and I like what Katt Williams said. I don't know if he's right or not, or if he's telling the truth or not, but that line where he says, I'm not going to let the losers write the history here, that hit home to me. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's what's going on right now in this nation, is that the losers have taken control. And what you're seeing is a lot of people who are mad at the winners, and they're getting back at the winners. And this is why such ideologies like socialism and Marxism is so popular amongst the losers, because it gives the losers an excuse. You know what I mean? It gives the losers an excuse to blame the system instead of blaming themselves, because most of the time that's your problem. I mean, that was the whole transformation that I went through. I mean, that was the reason why I gravitated towards Marxism and socialism, because it gave me an opportunity to say, you know, it's not my fault. You know, I was in prison for 15 years because of things that I did. And until I realized that, and that's when we talk about freedom and the Freedom Doctrine that I'm talking about and that I'm writing about, it's the ability to look yourself in the mirror and say, let me take responsibility for my life. And once I'm able to do that, then I can make changes, and then I can take control, and then I'll be free. Right. So that's why we can't allow these losers, and that's what they are. Every time somebody succeeds, we want to knock them down, and we want to run to the government and say, government, please come and help us, because I'm a loser. I can't get up in the morning. I can't go to work. I can't feed myself. I can't try to, apply myself in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to read a book. I'd rather watch Pornhub all day long, and I want you to take care of me. That's loser mentality, and that's a loser mentality that we see all around us, and we can't allow these losers to speak for the winners. Winners rule the world, right? Whether you want to accept that or not, or whether you like that or not, or whether you don't want to, fall into the reality of life. And this is the reality. Those that go out there and put in the work and do what they're supposed to do and operate within those boundaries of moral and ethical codes of conduct are the people that will win and will get and reap the benefit of it. And so they don't want you to know that. They want you to be the losers. They want you to be the people that are whining and complaining all the time. And so in order for us to combat that, we need to start exercising our personal will and freedom of of excellence. And that's how we need to overcome it. So I totally 100% agree with that. The losers should not speak for the winners.
Yeah, that's excellent. And he even had more points in there. But that ties back into your book. I have the book, a link to the book pinned in the chat. It's just $8, like $7.99. I have it right here, so I should get the exact price on it.
Yeah,
I have $7.99.
Yeah.
And here's mine. I'm sharing the copy of mine right here now. And this is the end of it, right? This is after you were released. Let me quote from the book here. It wasn't until I was released and home that my political views started to change. This is Che writing here. Until that point, I still believed in socialism and that the only way to enact real change was through planned economics. I still felt like, as a whole, the state had an obligation to correct its wrongs. There is some legitimacy to this argument, as most of our collective problems are a result of the state intervention. However, if I were to be true to the doctrine with which I governed my own life, it was important that we collectively start to rely on ourselves and not a bunch of taxpayer and bureaucrats who suffer none of the consequences of their poor decisions. That ties right in with what we're talking about here. If you're going to say that this book was for somebody, Che, who would you say this book is for?
I would say it's for the person that doesn't have a purpose. I would say it's for the person that is constantly running into the brick wall and doesn't feel like they can get out of it. The person that feels trapped, the person that is running to their vices and doesn't seem like they can overcome it. That's who I think it's for. And I think it's also for people that are dealing with people like that. And we all are. You know what I mean? I think we all are. We all know who they are. We all around us. And it's the person that wants to take their life to the next level and get out of that matrix of, dependency and being a child and grow up.
Yes, excellent. And Che also does real work in the community, social work. I've played that video before. You had a great video on your channel promoting it, on what you do. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the community out there.
Well, we want to, we do a reentry program. I actually do one tomorrow. We do it every Saturday. It's through an organization called Rebuilding Cali Alliance, which is right here in the heart of South Central LA. I deal with guys who are getting out of prison, getting out of county jail, addiction, homelessness, all those type of things. And we talk about strategies and things that we can do to overcome it and not get out of the matrix, get out of that hole. And I think, the matrix is different for everybody, right? Some people are just in the matrix of going to work every day, coming home, finding no purpose. Some people are in the matrix of their vices, and their vices may not be that big or whatnot. And some people are in the matrix of in and out of prison, gangs, criminality, drugs, all those type of things. So we try to overcome that. And one of the things that I like to do is we talk about there's an agenda and they're trying to keep you in this space. And even the people that are trying to help you in that space are trying to keep you in that space. And so the only way you can overcome it is through yourself and taking responsibility and being accountable for your actions and overcoming it and saying, this is on me. Let me reverse course and let me make different decisions. That's how my life changed, and all I'm doing is giving people those same type of, the same game that I picked up.
Yes. We use this language here and I do this a lot where I don't realize everybody doesn't know these terms. Somebody said, what is white pill? What is black pill? What is red pill? What is blue pill? And I'm like, for a second, I was like, man, for somebody listening that doesn't know this stuff, it's a whole different language, basically. And Screwed Up Rebellion's asking, what is the matrix? And didn't do a good enough job breaking that down. So when Che talks about what the matrix is, we are talking about a dystopian future, which doesn't even seem that outrageous at this point. A dystopian future where AI, computers, robots have taken over the world. They have decided that humans are the virus. That's my favorite scene from the movie, along with the spoon one, is where he said something to the effect like, you are the virus or whatever. What a great scene. The robots think the humans are the virus, so they turn humans into batteries. Humans go into a pod. That's where we're heading with the metaverse and reality and all that. You go in, the humans are in a pod. The world is all dark. They blocked out the sun. They're sucking out the life of humans for some type of battery purposes. And all they need is the appearance of a reality. So each human in the pod is basically in a virtual reality where they don't know they're in a pod. They think that the world is the real world. And so when he says that you're in a matrix, your matrix can be, and I feel that. I'm going to work every day. I mean, I'm grateful to have a job, like my coworkers, but I kind of felt when Che was like, okay, you go to work every day, you come home, and it's the same routine. Is that what your calling is? But if you want to, it can be very hard to get to your calling. You know, Eric July writes these comics books here. I'm a huge fan of Eric July. I talk about him a lot.
Yeah, shout out Eric July.
Shout out to Eric July. He talks about you've got to be able to monetize. If you want to do your cause, you've got to be able to eat off of your cause. Yeah, and that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it takes a lot of independent time. It takes a lot of, but you know what? We have the opportunity. You know what I mean? There's times, when you go to bed at night and you say, man, I really spent an hour just scrolling through TikTok and looking at stupid dances and stuff like that. That was an hour that you can put into the thing that you love to do. This is like, you have a job, I have a job, we have jobs, right? But what you do, this is your purpose. This podcast, this channel that you have, this has meaning to it. You know what I mean? Like, you can go work a job and it's like, yeah, I feel good about what I do, but it doesn't have the same meaning. I'm not really doing anything that is meaningful to me, that I can go to bed at night and be proud of. You know what I'm saying? These are things those are the things that you have to, you have to sacrifice time. You have to sacrifice time. You have to sacrifice leisure time. And those are the things, and putting into the things that you really love to do in your purpose, and find a way to eat off it, like you said. And I mean, it would be great to be able to do that full time, your purpose. And those are the people that have really, really ascended to another level, because they are able to do their purpose and it sustains them.
Yep. That's why I don't want to be too soft, but I also don't want to be too critical as well. I want to be fair in any criticism of people who they might be engagement farming a little bit. I mean, they're trying to market, and I look at myself and I'm like, well, maybe I don't engagement farm enough. If you want to eat off of it, you've got to. There's still sacrifices to me that you've got to make. And like I said, I don't like short videos, but maybe you should put some time into it, and then you can make creative short videos. That's an art form, and even though that might be your purpose, you've got to kind of. Do you think that's fair to say? You've got to make some sacrifices within not opening up your butthole. That's basically what Katt Williams was talking about. The sacrifices that some of them made. I think that's what he was talking about with Ludacris. Was it with Ludacris and Fast and the Furious, or was it with Luda?
Yeah, I think it was Ludacris. I'm not sure.
He talked about Illuminati in that video. That was dead serious, I think. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke. He said Katt Williams in the interview said something to the effect of there was some type of Illuminati meeting, and he and Ludacris were supposed to go to it. And I was like, whoa, this is getting crazy. My eyes got big during that part of it. And what happened was they said something to the effect of, one of y'all are going to get $200 million to do 10 movies. And Katt Williams was intimating like he was the one that didn't. Luda did, but there were some sacrifices that Luda had to make. So I think that's, you have to make sacrifices to a certain extent. You got to draw a line.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to sacrifice for anybody else. You know what I mean? Yeah. When I talk about sacrifice, I mean sacrifice, leisure time. I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm not, whatever anybody else asks you to sacrifice for them. We ain't. We're not. That's
no. That's a nice way to put it.
Right. I mean, but even like you look at it like that, like like us. Like, you know, somebody can come to you tomorrow and say, you know, Osiris, I'm going to offer you $10 million to do this. However, I don't want you to talk about this, and that. Now, those are the choices that you'll probably be confronted with. What do you do? Do you say, you know what, I'm going to turn down that money so that I can speak the truth? Or do you take the money and then muzzled? And then at that point, are you doing your purpose?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Is that now a job? That's just now I have this obligation. Somebody's going to give me all this money, maybe $10 million for 5 years. That's $2 million a year. You're locked in for 5 years, and you can't say what you want to say. Or maybe they don't tell you that, but they're the ones funding it. And when they come to you a couple months later and say, you know, Osiris, you were talking about them aliens, man. Can you stop? We don't want because we know people. Or you were talking about Illuminati stuff, and I don't, you know, at that point you got to understand, you know, those are the type of things where you're sacrificing your integrity. And now when you sit down to do this, does it have the same passion? Do you have the same energy? Is it now like, I gotta go to work?
Yep, I think that's what a lot of people go through. And you know, I wonder, I just talked about Rage Against the Machine and how they kind of changed, and I just wonder if were they always like this, or I don't know, but it makes you wonder what Ye is Ye making some sacrifices? Is Ye really being real all the time, or is he just trying to do stuff to promote? I think about that too, even though I like Ye. I think he's brilliant. He's a great marketer. A lot of these great marketers do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, especially when you see people who come up and they have these type of antics, and then right after they try to sell you something. You know what I mean? It's almost like, were the antics, you know, did they precede the product, or you know what I mean? You know, you don't really know. And so you know, it's a tricky game. But I just look at it like, you know, you got to just be true to yourself, and that's it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you have to go to bed with yourself. You have to wake up with yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. You have to be able to be okay with what you're doing. And if you're not, you know, that I'm gonna tell you this right now, and from a person that has experienced this, you know, living life with regret is a prison in and of itself. So do with that what you will.
Yeah, we only have one life. Yeah, we gotta protect it. But yeah, Mike Hasbanese was like, Cat Williams just casually bringing up Illuminati. I'm doing dishes, I think I was doing dishes while I was listening to that, and I just froze. I never heard anybody bring up. I'm like, is he joking with this? Or I never heard anybody bring up Illuminati in that manner, that casually. I mean, it was crazy. But cool. So Che, support Che's book, The Freedom Doctrine, Book 1, My Path to Canaan. Man, I'm so proud of you,
on
man.
Amazon. Yeah, I'm gonna have a paperback coming out by the end of the month, but right now it's available on ebook. I'm also gonna have book 2. I'm gonna try to drop that next month. I'm gonna try to. My plan is to drop 1 a month. So this year I want to have like 12 of them done. I got them already done. It's just now, you know, the formatting and that part of the process. But other than that, we're gonna really pump a lot of them out there. You know what I mean? I'm also working on a project with a friend of mine that we're going to be, you know, going around speaking, getting a lot of these ideas out there in a more structured and programmed manner. But more to come on that. You know what I mean? Once we get that going, more to come. If you're in the LA area, February 17th, we're going to have a sort of a social mixer, inviting different people. We're going to be talking about the book. We're going to be talking about the projects that we're doing. I'm going to be speaking about it, taking questions and answers. So follow me on Instagram at Che_uncensored, or Twitter at No Spoon Podcast, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, the No Spoon Podcast. We're going to be getting that back up. Hopefully by the end of the month, we'll be having a weekly show again. But what you call it? Yeah, that's what we're doing. So if you're out there, and I see old boy said he's gonna be in the Nickerson Gardens. Yeah, I'm right down the street on 76 in Avalon. So
wow,
that's right about across the street from Fremont High School. But anyways, if you follow me there for more information and details to come, we're gonna be having that February 17th. It's gonna be at that location that I just said. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the book, but more to come. But buy the book; it's on Amazon. The Freedom Doctrine book, One My Path to Canaan, and hopefully you guys get something from it.
Here it is right here. Here's what it looks like. The Freedom Doctrine, Book 1, My Path to Canaan. Che, it's great. I told you I was going to do an hour. It's very rude. I apologize. I got you going longer, going late. Because, people got family obligations and stuff like that. You got to be sensitive to that. But I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to I drank some coffee. I'm going to hang on and get some stuff off my chest, and hopefully it doesn't taint you with the stuff. The channel's a little bit different than when they first came on. I think it's a little bit more aggressive now. I don't know. That's myself in that.
Man. You gotta be.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit more.
Man. But I appreciate you having me on, man. I really do. I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to speak. And anybody that I seen somebody said they had a show out there, but hit me up. I'll be glad to come on and talk and whatever, man. Talk whatever's going on, and that's what I do.
Dope. Well, I appreciate it, Che.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Take care, man. Appreciate you.
Too.
Yep. So that's Che, man. Always great to have Che on. Just a really good writer. And that's, I didn't bring up ChatGPT, but I'm a guy who needs ChatGPT to do anything within any reasonable time frame. That's a dude that does not. That's a real writer. Like the Katt Williams interview, that's a lot what Katt Williams wanted to lay out. And I believe him on that. I believe him. I believe Katt Williams. He's like, I put the work in from when I was younger to write these jokes and perfect my craft. And don't you dare no matter who's right or wrong, don't disrespect that. And I would never disrespect a true writer with true skill. You can't. Yes. Thank you. KTZED. Yes. Che's amazing. He just X, I complain about X a lot. X is how I met a lot of the people. Met him on X, just started chatting, DM. He's like, hey, I was like, hey, you come on the show, and we talked. Oh, in the first interview we did, I didn't have a good setup. I recorded the whole video, and I think it was all audio or something like that. I was like, man, we did it again, and he's a good friend of the show ever since. We'll get him on. I'm going to start scheduling. Guess who I'm scheduling now? I'm going to get her on. That girl, Casey, is going to get on here. We're going to do that, and I'm going to be reaching out to more people to have them on the show. Monday, we're going to be doing a monthly Rumble with Iggy, and that one is going to be spicy. I purposely have not talked to Iggy about the Rob Smith incident in a minute. I purposely didn't talk about the Rob incident on this channel because I'd rather talk to him first about it on Rumble and just keep it off of YouTube. Even though it's a real big turnoff to me to be a grown-ass man, can't talk about a grown-ass topic, but I'm just not going to do that one on YouTube. You don't want to miss that monthly Rumble. I'm going to promote it. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be a spicy one. And Iggy's stream after the Rob Smith incident, this is an incident, look up on Twitter. I'm going to get too much into it, but that stream was excellent where he broke down what happened. I don't know if you saw this, but Bryson Gray and Josie, the redheaded libertarian, did have a conversation. And I give Josie credit. And this is going to be tough when I'm going to have to preface something, because this was the thing on First Take with Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. They would always say, I like this guy. He's great. And it happened so often, they're like, the audience would be like, uh-oh. If he's bigging up somebody and giving them props, he's about to say something bad. and I hate to say this, I'm. It's not going to be that bad. This isn't that serious, y'all. At least to me. If it's to Bry, I respect. I'm a huge Bryson Gray fan. Let me set that straight. Did y'all hear that? That's that dude. I'm going to call things straight though. I'm going to call balls and strikes. But Bryson Gray's that dude. Did I tell you that Bryson Gray's that dude? I said Bryson Gray is the #1 MC in the game. I've said that since he dropped what was the name of Me vs. the Industry? I forgot. I think that was the name of the album. That album is, all his stuff is good, but that album to me is his best work. To me, Bryson Gray is great. Did I say that? And you know why I'm getting shook on that kind of stuff is because, you know, I talk about all this Shoe and Head blocked me on. I'm a huge Shoe and Head fan. Keffels blocked me, but then Keffels unblocked me. I don't know why that. I don't know how that happened. I'm a big Keffels fan. We can disagree. If I can't disagree with you and be respectful, then maybe I should be blocked. Anna Kasparian blocked me. Even as bad as she used to be, she's a lot better now, actually. Even as bad as she used to be, I still didn't hate her or have any beef with her. You know who blocked me recently? Robert Barnes. Bruh, that's my dude. I mean, it still is. Whatever. It's just a block on Twitter. But I'm just saying that's why Bryson Gray that's my dude, man. I've live streamed his songs when they come out, when I can, like live. Robert Barnes blocked me. Of course, it was over Israel. Okay. I still like Robert Barnes. Don't get me wrong. That Israel stuff, man. Y'all wild. Y'all really, really wild over that. I still subscribe to him on Locals, and he canceled he only signed up for a $1 subscription on X, but he canceled. I found out, I got a notification on X that said your subscription to Robert Barnes has been canceled. I was like, did my card? What happened to my card? I was like, did somebody steal my card and max it or something? Like, it's $1. I know there's funds there. What's going on? And then I looked, and then I went to his profile, and then I got the so I went to his profile, and I got the and I was like, damn, bruh. I done nothing but big you up ever since I've been listening to the show. And then we disagree on Israel. And then all of a sudden, damn. Anomaly has me blocked. Hotep Jesus has me blocked on X. I never said one bad word about that, bruh. Maybe I just tweet too much. I don't know. But that's why is that clear? I hope that's clear. If that's not clear enough, then I can't. What can I do? There is nothing I can do. And to say, after I say all that, Josie ate him up. Josie, the redheaded libertarian, ate that dude up on Alex Stein's show. And I'm sorry, bro. And sometimes you just got to take your hat off and be like, I didn't know you had that dog in you. Well played, ma'am. Jose, the redheaded libertarian, destroyed Bryson Gray. I don't think Bryson Gray was ready. He wasn't ready for that heat. Woo! Let's go to the tape. It was on Alex Stein's show. Hopefully he doesn't pay. I don't subscribe to him, so hopefully it's not paywalled. Let's go to it and see. You tell me. You tell me if I'm off base. Yeesh. This was not. It was so tough. I had to stop it, man. Like, I physically cringed during it because I'm like, I like both of them. So I didn't want to see any of this. So I'm hoping that they can. And even Bryson said he never had beef with her. This whole thing just kind of popped off. It's just weird how just beef pop off like that. And that's fine. Beef is going to happen, but hopefully they can mend it. But Josie, let's just say Josie gave that nigga that work, boy.
Sorry to interrupt. I kind of messed since we did like Skype, Zoom. I forgot to shut down the Skype, and Bryson's just chilling on it.
No,
like, do you have
we don't want to talk to Bryson. Kick them off the screen, Jimmy.
Gosh.
Stop. Right? No, Jimmy, no, because we already told Josie no. Why are you doing this, Jimmy? You're gonna get me in trouble with both of these guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna log off because we're not.
Jimmy, they're gonna log off, Jimmy. Why would you do this, Jimmy?
Oh, sorry. I thought you talked about
No,
men
I didn't
defenses.
say this. No, Jimmy, I didn't say any of this. Log them
no.
off.
Okay, sorry. I'll get them off.
Okay, Josie.
I'm trying.
Josie, get him off. Jimmy, get him off the damn show.
I want to know
get him off the show, Jimmy.
Only one of us have been
get him
attempting to say
off
something
now.
throughout this entire drama.
Oh, there's beer everywhere on the set now.
He
There's
is so
beer
good.
everywhere. It's spilling next to the wires. Jimmy, do
Look
not
at Josie's
do that. There's
face.
a bunch of wires. Sorry, Josie. We love this beer. Okay, before
I
you
don't
go,
think that
tell
was a
people, how
setup.
can
I
they
think
find
that really
you, Josie,
happened.
and how can they support you?
You can go to timcast.com and help support my work over there by becoming a member.
Wait for it.
Watch my live streams of my spaces over there. Or you can follow TRHL Official and on X and follow my work there.
And make sure to drink this beer. It doesn't turn you gay, right? It makes you straight as hell. It makes you
It makes you super straight, actually. If you were gay, you'll become straight if you drink this stuff.
let me have some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Show me those titties. Ah!
Yeah.
Give some to Bryson. He needs it.
Oh my gosh, shots
Sorry.
fired. Bye.
I'm
Bryson.
married and my wife doesn't dress like a horse. So I
Oh
don't have
my
to worry
God,
about
Bryson,
that.
shots fired. Jimmy, get them off the screen.
You're getting pimped by Seth over some beer so he can sell
Oh,
some beer.
Jimmy.
And then y'all claim y'all are doing something good.
Jimmy,
because
stop.
y'all are giving 10%.
Jimmy.
Y'all are giving 10% to an organization.
Jimmy,
10%.
get him
And he
off
claims
the
you got
screen.
any money
You
off
have
of it.
a
That's what I find
boundaries
interesting.
issue.
Jimmy.
Why on earth, when a woman asks you to leave her alone, would you not leave her alone? That speaks to an absence of fatherhood, maybe. Did you have a dad growing up?
I had both of my parents growing up. You don't seem to. That's why you're so desperate to look like Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe's hot.
Marilyn is here, though. She's beautiful. But
Oh, so you idolize
no,
Marilyn
I've had
Monroe.
a loving dad and a loving mom.
Oh my
But
goodness.
You did?
I speak to how you were
Guys,
raised.
can y'all be friends? Can y'all stop
Yeah,
arguing? Can y'all
no.
be friends?
And what
Absolutely
part of
not.
my song did I mention you, Josie?
See, that was.
You
I'm gonna
made a
stop
diss
this.
track. You made a diss
I think Bry got thrown off because he's a good debater. I mean, he's got to bring this topic to the Bible. That's where his strength is, religion. Josie came in hot. She had those bars ready, didn't she? I was shocked. I was like, damn. She was like, nigga, did you have a father growing up? I was like, oh my goodness. Josie was not playing games. And I don't blame Bry. I didn't know she had heat like that. I only listened to her kind of read the Constitution, be very well-spoken and kind of like buttoned up. Bry brought that dog out in Josie. He brought out that cheetah out in her. She was just like, rah. She's that cat woman out. She got him twisted. And then he said, where did I say you in the song? And that's not a strong comeback, Bry. Because really, my take would have been like, you tell me. What was the song about? Ugh, this was not good.
This track off. You called it demonic.
Which part of the song did I mention your name?
I didn't listen to your shit song. You're a failed musician.
Oh my God.
I'm failed. I make more money off music
So
than you make
it
off anything
wasn't-
you do in your
yeah.
entire life.
Yeah. So.
Oh no.
How much
Bry, damn. No. Josie came. Oh my goodness. I had no idea. Woo! Sometimes, see, that's why I said, even with Donald Trump, if Donald Trump didn't go to the debates in 2016, you would have never seen that dog come out of him. I need you to be tested. Josie got tested, and I seen a side of Josie that I never even knew could have existed. This is an MC. Going into this argument here, I even said it before. I said, Josie, you don't want those problems with a guy who lives with analogies and metaphors. I'm sure he already has bars for you. Maybe he didn't. It turned out that Josie had those liners for him. She called him a failed musician, and even Alex Stein was like, ooh, yikes. And then Bryson comes back with the money card? No, that don't work, bro.
Jimmy.
Why on earth, when a woman asks you to leave her alone, would you not leave her alone? That speaks to an absence of fatherhood, maybe. Did you have a dad growing up?
Oh my. That's a hard one to come back on. She said when a woman asks you to leave her alone, why not? Yeesh.
Control your wiener,
it.
Bryson. Control your wiener.
Control your wiener, Bryson, would be, because I was ignoring you when it came to your
Well, let me
Look
go
like
back a little
Marilyn
bit.
Monroe.
Right here.
position.
I'm failed. I make more money off music.
So this is when she called him a failed musician.
It's trash.
And
You
we
made
know
a diss
that's
track.
not true, but it's just, I mean, this is all ad hominem now, which is not substantial, and I'm hoping that they can pull this back together, but we're in just the name calling stuff, and she's getting them.
You called it demonic.
Which part of the song did I mention your name?
That's not a good comeback, Bri.
I didn't listen to your shit song. You're a failed musician.
I'm failed. I make more money off music
So
than you make
it
off anything.
wasn't-
That's
Yeah.
not a good comeback, Bri.
Yeah, so
This ain't about money, bro.
How much
So
money
I
did you make
guess
off the
the
cap?
next
Bruh.
logical thing to do would be, because I was ignoring you when it came to your spaces. I was ignoring you with your subtweets. I was ignoring you when all of your followers were coming after me and harassing me and finding pictures of me as
I
a
don't
child and
subtweet
putting them
those.
online. So I guess the next logical thing to do would be to write a song about me like some kind of bootleg Taylor Swift wannabe. So
Which part of my
now if you
song
want
was
to talk
about
about
you?
morality, I mean, if you want to talk about morality, I'm a mother and I'm a woman. And any man that was brought up right has the instinct to protect men, to protect women, and to protect mothers.
I don't want to see this.
I mean,
am
I'm
trying to
not
protect
dealing
you.
Oh
with
my
that.
gosh, I can't
Like
see
right
this.
now,
No,
you should put on
it's
the
your
sweater,
instinct to
'cause right
not
now your
attack
boobs are out.
women, right? You don't have that instinct to not attack women.
No, I
That's not
am
an instinct
protecting
that you
people.
have. That
I'm trying to
speaks- that
protect.
speaks
I'm trying to
to-
protect women from being. I'm trying to protect women from being influenced by people like you and Seth and the rest of the women dressed like harlots on that calendar. And I'm trying to protect men so they don't fall into lust because y'all are placing a stumbling block in front of them. All of that is biblical.
Oh, control
Even right
your
now,
wiener.
you have your.
Jesus Christ.
Control your wiener,
it.
Bryson. Control your wiener.
Control your wiener, Bryson.
I don't.
Control your wiener.
This is tough to watch, y'all. I don't know if I can finish this. I don't know if I can finish this, man. She going with the people's elbow off the top rope, man. She's doing all the finish. She's doing all the finishing moves. She's doing the scorpion, she's doing the cage, she's doing the Sub-Zero. I'll see if I can finish this. I don't know if I can.
have them issues. I don't have them issues. Also,
You
like,
seem
even,
to
like,
have
even
those
right now.
issues.
You said what?
Can we all just be friends and vote for Trump and just storm the Capitol one last time?
I'm gonna do that, but
can we storm the Capitol one last time?
No.
You would love to storm.
Hey Alex, which part of my song was about Josie? Nobody still.
He went
haven't
back
answered
to
my
that.
question.
Oh, bruh.
the part that
That's-
you named it demonic after putting demonic over
Because
my
the
calendar,
calendar
the
was
whole thing
demonic.
was a reference to that. Nobody's gonna listen
Rip.
to your song or buy your song, so it doesn't matter. I used
sell
to write
more
poetry
music
when
than
I
you
was
sell
sad in middle
anything.
school, so I appreciate the poetry that you wrote in my name.
Yeah. Hey Josie, I have just a quick question. Which one of us has tried to sell something throughout all of this? Me or you?
Brian.
You wrote a song. Were you not trying to
See,
profit off that?
I wonder if Bry was going easy on her because he didn't want to look bad, going at a woman. It could have been that too, because that's a hard position to be at. She can go harder than he can, and he could look like he's really bullying her. But he wanted to have the conversation, so Josie looks like she was ready.
How am I profiting off the song at all?
Are you going to sell it? Is it
No,
for sale?
the song is not.
I don't know where he's going with that. That's not. She's dropping bombs on you. I don't know where you're going.
Off any
Is it going to be
platform
for
because it was
sale?
1 minute. No, it's not for sale.
You know what? You're actually being monetized. I have some scripts of how you're being monetized, some screenshots. You're being monetized with waifu. You know what waifu is? Right on your X account. You've got porn on your advertising X account. I'm happy to send it to you if you want to see. It's got your name, Bryson. And then you got porn. Yeah, you got porn there. So there's something that you're doing that porn is being attracted to your account.
Are you claiming that I watch porn?
No.
No. I'm saying that there's something that you are doing where porn is actually showing up as the ads on your X account.
Like
I don't know if this is true or not, but again, she's doing them all. She's doing the people's elbow. She's doing the tombstone. She's doing the sweet chin music. She's got them all. The DDT. I'm trying to think because I watched wrestling back in the 90s. I'm trying to think. She's doing the Stone Cold. the Stone Cold Stunner. She doing them all on him.
Jason Whitlock situation where he had that Timu thing sticking deep in the butt.
Yeah,
card.
that's something you might want to take that up.
Targeted ads.
So I find it.
It's
so
totally
I find it
against
funny, and I know,
everything you believe in.
and I know. Hey, Josie, let me help you. So what you're trying to say, the Jason Whitlock situation, that would be me looking at something and then an ad popping up for me because of my algorithm. I know you're a woman, and I don't know your I don't know your IQ, so let me help you real quick.
She's smart.
If
She's
you
smart.
if you are looking at if you are on somebody, because ads are algorithmic, so if you are looking at something and an ad pop up, that means you are interested in what you're seeing, not the person's Twitter account. That's simply not how it works, and I'm glad I could help you on that. Secondly, you said you're a Catholic, which is cool.
Looking at them. They're being sent to me.
I'm trying to help you right now. I'm trying to teach you a little something.
Also, women by calling them whores. That's you're not helping anybody.
I call women whores a lot when we're having sex. I'm like a little whore. I say that all the time.
Biblical. Whores is biblical. The Bible explains to you what a whore is.
Oh, you're calling women all Mary Magdalene? Is that what you're doing? Oh, walk that back.
Is that true with Mary Magdalene?
Okay, I've had enough. I can't watch this anymore. There it is. Now you enter the arena and anything can happen. It's all fair game. And that was that. That's the end of Calendar Gate, if you didn't realize it. What is this? GB? GB's not buying it. GB's not on the. I think Josie. It was. There's nothing substantive there, but I mean, what are we? There's not going to be a substantive talk there. GB says, "Shut up and show your tits." That actually came up on X while you're playing. There's a video that came up on X about there's this woman that does these videos. I don't even do I would say if I did research, I don't even do research. I call it research on this woman. She just comes up on the feed every once in a while. And I just watch her videos for maybe 5 seconds, not doing anything. They just come up on the feed and I just like keep it on mute. These are one of those videos. I just keep it on mute. And so this is gonna be for GB. So GB's like, just shut up and I don't know what she's talking about. The headline is Parking Garage Nightmare. I don't know what that means. I don't care. Just do what you do. Yeah, I don't. I would say if I did research, I'm not really I don't know. She's not ugly. It's just not. I'm not interested. I don't know why actually. Just she does not interest me at all. For me to do any research there, but GB saying "shut up and show your tits" just made me think of that one there. I think this is true, and I'm going to go through a couple of things that have been going on. This is why you could call me in the middle. I don't know if this makes me in the middle, but this is Raul Castro, who's 92 years old, and this is him saying that he has no doubts that the U.S. blockade remains the chief source of the island's economic crisis. On the 65th anniversary of the revolution, he urged the Cuban people to persevere over U.S. attempts to strangle their nation. I'm just going to read some of it here. The path taken, this is Raul Castro, has not been easy. We have had to face the permanent and perversive aggressiveness of the enemy, which has even resorted to military invasion, terrorism, and a ruthless and cruel blockade, condemned by the overwhelming majority of the nations of the world in its failed attempt to destroy our revolution and erase its inspiring example for other peoples that, yes, it is possible to build a just and humane society with equal opportunities for all. The policy of permanent hostility and blockade of the U.S. government is the main cause of the difficulties of our economy. He's talking about Cuba, of course. Have no doubts about this. even if the enemy invests millions of dollars and a lot of effort to hide it. It's supported by some who act against their own homeland, whether it profits or simply because they are servants. We cannot lose patience. We must listen to them, explain to them, until we convince them with the powerful weapon of truth that is on our side. He's 92 years old. In socialism and its work in the unity of revolutionary ideology is where we sustain our capacity to resist and to win. That's a good message. That's not a victimhood message there. And I couldn't care less about Cuba, but everything that he said there is right. And I think there's a cost to the lies that have been going on in our country, the absolute manipulation of the truth that is inexcusable and rampant in our country. And that's opened up my eyes to stuff I would have never looked at it in this way. Again, I don't care about Cuba and their socialism. That's not for me. I'm America first. And what I'm seeing is America is doing some disgusting things that I would have never thought about, cared about. Yeah, I do care. The U.S. has an embargo in place since 1962 that severely limits Cuba's ability to trade with the U.S. The restriction hinders access to markets, technology, and investment opportunities. It affects Cuba's access to international financial systems, U.S. sanctions. I am in 100% agreement with the populist left. I am not for U.S. sanctions. Don't like it. All it does is it squeezes the common person of the country while the rich people like your Castros and the powerful, they eat really well. It makes it challenging for Cuba to obtain international credit and engage in global banking, leading to liquidity problems. So I think there's truth to that. And we have to acknowledge that and not be afraid to acknowledge that yeah, we live in a great country, and our great country can be a part of doing some really disgusting things. That's the truth. Yeah, I agree. It's fair to say capitalism has not worked out so well either, though. I believe in the free markets. I do believe in, basically I'm thinking when you look at capitalism, I believe in a free market, as free as possible. So capitalism has not worked out perfectly. But I don't know. What's really happening is corrupt governments. Now, that'll take me to my next take. This was today, this is probably the biggest story for me today. This jobs news. I saw the jobs story come out, and Zero Hedge is where I saw this. And I said, I was like, whoa, this is something else. Full-time workers plunge 1.5 million in 1 month to lowest since February. Part-time workers soar 762K to the highest on record. I'm going to say that one more time. Full-time workers plunged by 1.5 million in 1 month to the lowest since February of 2023. Part-time workers soar up 762,000 to the highest on record. Multiple job holders hit all-time high. So people are leaving, however it is, whether it's being, I didn't see that detail on it, and leaving full-time jobs, whether it's by choice or otherwise, and becoming more part-time. That is not by accident. That is a market shift. Corporations see corporations are looking at the economic environment in our country. They many of them just did their books at the end of the year. They've got goals in 2024, whether it's to increase EBITDA or basically just their bottom line revenues, but they're projecting sales aren't going to be higher. Many companies, not everyone. So you have to cut overhead. You have to cut. We saw that they cut in the tech industry, the fake DEI jobs that provide no value, no meaning to the company. We need to be profitable. So the $200K we're spending on your salary, $100K on your salary, gone. We need you out to be profitable. And these numbers are crazy. They highlight that the labor force participation rate is down 62.8% from 63% in February of 2020, and then 67.2%. The decrease is due to different reasons. Some of it is aging workforce. Some of it is for many entering early retirement. So there's many different reasons for that. But my takeaway from this is I am for Medicare for all, believe it or not. I haven't talked about it in a minute. Just hasn't come up. I haven't had a reason to. And I said, if you are against Medicare for all, you might want to think twice about that position. Because you've got all those people, and the healthcare options in our country largely go through, we do have Obamacare. You've got, states do some supplements too. But your healthcare is tied into, a lot of people just don't go with healthcare because it's still expensive. You tie in your healthcare to a corporation. That's basically what you do. For many of these part-time corporations, I would say for the vast majority of them, you don't get benefits. It's another way they can cut overhead. And then also, we're seeing a rise in AI and robotics. And that's going to cause it too. So we're just seeing the start of this. This is not just a 1 month thing. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen next month, but it will slowly get worse. There's been different changes to overtime rules and stuff like that too. But some people provided feedback. So I know you might be thinking about, okay, why Medicare for all? What are we going to do? Why? What's the deal with that? Digital Sass, friend of the show, says the government can't even run veteran healthcare right. No way they could do it for the whole country. I agree. But that's a critique of the government, not Medicare for all. If you said that the government can't run the VA right, and they can't run basically anything right, I agree. But that applies to any policy, not just Medicare for all. So that doesn't contradict anything I said. I said that we as a country need to reconcile what it means when we can't trust the people who work for us with our health. Politicians, the government works for us, and we can't trust them with our health. That's a problem regardless of Medicare for all. Don't even worry about Medicare for all. My concept of it, that's obviously a bigger problem. Canadian here says we have universal health care, most expensive health care in the world. No doctors, long waits, year-long waits to see specialists, 12-hour wait times, plus in the ER, people dying in the ER. All this is, I'm not an expert in Canadian, but the fares here, but that's from what I've read, that and anecdotal takes is what I've seen. What I would reply to that, the year-long waits and the people dying in the ER, people dying on the wait list. And then, Canada, they've been actually promoting unliving yourself in a certain way. But what government actions from Canada could be leading to that? That's the problem. It's the government involved in the market. So I said, that's because of a corrupt government applying arbitrary market control instead of leveraging the buying power of the people. Until we fix corrupt government representation, there will be bad implementation of what could be, you might disagree with me on this, but what could be good ideas. How did the government handle the pandemic? You look at California. To my knowledge, California said that illegal immigrants are going to be able to get health care. That is a government artificially increasing the demand for a product. That's all healthcare is. It's just a product, no different than a hat or anything else, a cell phone. You're increasing the demand for the product. Unless you have more doctors and you increase the supply, that's going to increase the price. Who did that? Even under Medicare for all or whatever system you have, increasing the demand is going to increase the price. That is the government making poor decisions. That does not mean Medicare for all is a bad policy in a vacuum. I understand there's nothing that I would trust this government with. I wouldn't trust this government to do anything for me that's separate from this policy. If you've got people going to, and that's the future of work, is more contract gig economy. Basically, I can go down the street and I need $20. I can go work at McDonald's for 2 hours and the register's so easy. There's robots in there and they Venmo me the $20 after I wash some dishes or something like that. While those jobs still exist, even Uber, all that. That's contract work. Hey, I feel like I can go pick up somebody's sandwich and get it to their house. They might give me a tip. I make $8 on it, spend a half an hour or whatever on it. That's the future of work. Those jobs don't come with health care. And if you have a concern about the government doing it, I agree. I don't want to have it. I'm just saying not with this government that we have, but in a vacuum, the government is nothing more than a corporation. The system we have right now is basically you have to be tied into a corporation to get health care. There is absolutely no reason why the government shouldn't be the corporation to pool all of the people together. That gives you buying power. You create competition in the marketplace, but they're lobbying against all that. You create competition in the marketplace. You've got the buying power of basically the whole country. You will have elite people who wouldn't be on the Medicare. Maybe some jobs would have higher ones there could be different scenarios, but you see very easily if the company you're working for can provide you health care, the government can as well. And if the government can't, because you can't trust it, we've got bigger problems. So capitalism has not worked out well, but there's many reasons for that. And you could call that a socialist policy. And that's fine with me. I still think it's good policy. Let me know what you think on that. Look real quick in the chat. We practically have Medicare for all now. No, I wouldn't say that. It's basically Medicare for U65. I sell the ACA plans. But no, not for me. This is in California. Screwed Up Rebellion says Medicare for all illegal aliens. For me, absolutely not. There is no policy. There is no policy that I would ever propose that would apply to illegal aliens. None. Other than shipping them the hell up out of here. That's the only policy I can give you. Deportation. Yeah, just to be clear. But that's I can bring up that story. I might bring that up. That's the problem. But let's see. So, is that GB? Yeah, GB. So, are you against Medicare? If I don't think it is. I don't think what we have is close to Medicare for all. And we can talk about that. But first, GB, do you then if it is close to it, do you agree that Medicare for all is a good idea or not? I mean, the other option is to get the government out of healthcare altogether and try to let the free market handle it. But if you can do that, then you could just let the government handle it. How do you do that with the lobbyists? They're not gonna. The lobbyists, they need to keep their money. So the stream's a little bit behind, but I'm curious what GB says about that. I'll probably get your chat probably 2 minutes. If you're caught up to the stream, probably 2 minutes after you do it. And I'm talking about single payer. But I mean, there's different variations that you can do about it. Let's take a look and see. Let's see what GB has to say on that. Might be more of an expert on me. I haven't seen that yet, but I might catch up with GB on that one later on. Maybe we could. That's a good topic for discussion for another, for maybe a separate segment from a live even. Feeling good? Still going? I'm going to cover now this is disturbing. I talked about it. I actually just did a short on it. And what it is we're seeing a pattern here. And this is, I don't know if this is going to happen. This is just a prediction. But what I'm seeing here is this pattern of default judgments. Here's Abraham Hamadeh running for Congress, Arizona. The same lawyers who went after Rudy Giuliani are suing Carrie Lake for defamation because she dared to criticize how the election was run last year. She's being sued and they stole the election. So after they could come after me too. They can come after anybody. On the civil side, this is for not criminally. I mean, who knows what they can do. But I'm just talking about you have to pay money. She's being sued because polling came out. I don't believe in polling, but maybe they do. Polling came out showing that Carrie Lake is in the lead for her run in Senate, but they said she was in the lead for the gubernatorial as well. Please don't look at those polling. But maybe they look at the polling. She's being sued. Just like Trump, just like Giuliani, just like Alex Jones. Here's Abe Hamadeh talking about it.
Through. And I'm also honored to be friends with Carrie Lake and have her endorsement. But she's fighting her election losses, but she's also being sued by a government official like Giuliani. The same lawyers who went after Giuliani are suing Carrie Lake for defamation because she dared to criticize how the election was run last year. Can you imagine that she's now being sued for speaking out against the incompetence, negligence, and possible corruption of government? And that's what they're doing. So they're trying to, they really want to silence us, Carrie Lake and I and President Trump, people who have a voice for the American people. That's their MO. Look at what Carrie Lake is going through. And I'm also honored to be friends with Carrie Lake and have her endorsement. But she's fighting her election losses, but she's also being sued by a government official like Giuliani. The same lawyers who went after Giuliani are suing Carrie Lake for defamation because she dared to criticize how the election was run last year. Can you imagine that she's now being sued for speaking out against the incompetence, negligence, and possible corruption of government? And that's what they're doing. So they're trying to, they really want to silence us, Carrie Lake and I and President Trump, people who have a voice for the American people. That's their.
I need a little bit more fire than that. This is not the time to be passive. It's not a big time to be kind of choosing your words. This is very dangerous stuff that we're seeing here. This is not okay. So they're going after her for defamation, and they've shown it. They did a default judgment on Alex Jones twice. They did a default judgment on Rudy Giuliani. They did a summary judgment on Trump in New York. What do you think's going to happen to Carrie Lake here? Complete out now legal warfare to have Carrie Lake be distracted from her Senate run so she can't put all her resources there. Same thing they're doing to Trump. For those unaware, it means you're found guilty without a trial. The same lawyers that did it to Giuliani are suing Carrie Lake, the judge in December just said, yeah, you can go sue her. So what's coming next is they want to do that. They want to go down that. You just see the chess move a mile away. That they've opened up another loophole. They're finding cheat codes, y'all. You can't keep playing the game with these people. You're giving legitimacy to the system if you don't say, I want out of the system. Carrie Lake should be working with people at a local level on secession or on building up a strong enough movement to have counties in Arizona leave the state of Arizona, even if you still recognize the federal government, and say, but we're not a part of Arizona at all. I don't know how that would work. I haven't gone down that path. But that's what needs to be happening. You're running for Senate. For what? You're giving them legitimacy. And when I say they, I said they up here. They did this, they did that. Yeah, you could say the lawyers did it, but no. When I say they, I'm talking about they. And I'm talking about the CIA, FBI. This article from Time titled The Secret History of the Shadow Campaign That Saved the 2020 Election by Molly Ball detailed an alliance formed between left-wing activists and business titans along with various other groups. U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the AFL-CIO. Another central figure was Mike Podherzer, a senior advisor of the AFL. He orchestrated a vast cross-partisan campaign that extended beyond the realm of traditional political campaigning. That's who I'm talking about with them. The coalition. This is in the article of the infamous, this one, you know this one. The infamous Time article. This is paraphrasing from it, but this is in it. The coalition's work encompassed various aspects of the election, from changing voter systems and laws to securing funding, recruiting poll workers, distributing. This part is not in the article. I put this in there. Disinformation to steal an election. They wanted to frame it as saving democracy. I saw it as an OJ If I Did It book of them stealing the 2020 election. Those are the same people behind this. We might want to do something about that. Just saying. So thanks. I'm gonna. So let's see. GB, sorry, I'm live now. I didn't know it's behind. Oh no, it's always behind. I don't think you were. And as it goes, it gets more and more behind. So I'm gonna have to be out. But let me see. So GB's health insurance broker. The costs are so high, people will just die if there is not help. So do you agree? Do you agree that we should have, this is a cold civil, I mean, this is an absolute cold civil war. There's no question about that. Absolutely no question about that, which we're doing here. But I don't want to get into the Medicare for all. I'm about to be out. But yeah, I appreciate you. I mean, that was great. Thanks to Che. His book, wait. Oh, I took the banner down? Let me see. Oh, I didn't realize the banner was down. Okay. Let's go check out Che's book. Book link pinned in description. All you gotta do is give that bro an $8 super chat. You got a whole book. It's so valuable. $8, man. You got more than a podcast from him. So cool. I'm gonna be out. Let's do. Let's do. I always want to do an outro song now. Let's do a little Mayor Hawthorne. Haven't listened to Mayor Hawthorne in a minute. See if I can cue this up. Okay. In another lifetime, I wasn't really cool with him, but I knew Mayor Hawthorne. He's a goofy dude. Cool dude. AML Athletic Mike League, Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, Michigan, back in the day. But he was a part of AML. Group, one of my favorite groups of all time. He always liked these, he would make beats and he would be the DJ. This guy right here who's singing. Great album here. And he would joke around and sing at house parties and stuff, and then he really turned it into a thing. great band, great performances, and hip hop is a lot of sampling, and I think that's where they got it from. I think he got it from sampling all the old greats, and it's like, damn, I just want to sing like they do. And these are original songs. But I'm out, y'all. Appreciate you. Peace.
But I can't stand by while you break my heart in two. Oh, I've got to be a man, baby, I've got to take a stand. So now we've gone our separate ways. But in my heart I feel the burning flames of love remains. I'll have to find somebody new, but all who dare will be compared to you. What can I do? You were everything that I dreamed I would find. Now we can't go back where we started. This is the end of the line. Darling, me and you, we had a strange arrangement, but you broke all the rules, and I'm through playing the fool for love. Darling, yes, it's true. We had a grand engagement, but I can't stand by while you break my heart in two. Oh, I've got to be a man, baby, I've got to take a stand. Oh, me and you, we had a strange arrangement, but you broke all the rules, and I'm through playing the fool for love. Darling, yes, it's true. We had a grand engagement, but I can't stand by while you're breaking my heart in two. No, I've got to be a man, baby, I've got to take a stand. So
Him real. I met DMX 9 months ago. This nigga is 2 inches taller than me. I don't know why the fuck I thought that nigga was 6'12" or something. That nigga is my size. And he really talk like that. We in a restaurant, he, hell bitch. That nigga's a water and some lemon. Nigga, why are you hollering? We in a restaurant, nigga. You know that nigga wasn't shit at school, couldn't cheat at all. Just, hell bitch. What's the answer? Number 7. Nigga, you need to be in a special class. What the fuck is... I met old Mark named Real. I met...
Tell me some of the things you cook that they're proud of. Like, Dad made some. You got the best spaghetti. You got the best steak. What do you have? Tell us what you cook.
As a father of 7 with an unlimited food budget, you can make whatever is necessary.
I
With
said
7,
what they like.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
I'm
I
still
said what do they
answering.
like?
Just because you're a poor interviewer doesn't mean.
I said you answer the question and just tell me.
Man, you're
what
a
they
strong
like.
black woman. Is it
Answer
okay
the
for me to
question.
answer?
Come on.
You keep interrupting the answer. Everyone can hear it. It sounds like you like me a little bit. It's starting to bleed over the airwaves.
It is.
Oh, really?
I want to let
Come
everybody
on.
know that Wanda got some lipstick on right now with enough glitter for the 4th of July 2020.
That's right. Kissable lips.
How many kids you got, Wanda?
I have 3 boys.
Excellent.
Yes, I do.
Aren't boys simple?
Hmm?
Aren't boys simple?
They can be. They can be. Yeah.
Wanda knows she
I'm what?
She didn't do as much cooking in the latter years as she did in the beginning.
Whatever. I cook. I do it all.
I didn't say that you
Well,
didn't.
that's right. I did it in the beginning and the middle and the end.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Your boys say, yeah.
They.
Red Grant. How many kids you got, Wanda?
I have 3 boys.
Excellent.
Yes, I do.
Aren't boys simple?
Hmm?
Aren't boys simple?
They can be. They can be.
Wanda knows she.
I'm what?
She didn't do as much cooking in the latter years as she did in the beginning.
Whatever. I cook. I do it all.
I didn't say that you
Well,
didn't.
that's right. I did it in the beginning and the middle and the end.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Your boys say, yeah.
They like for me to. I do a really nice broccoli. They like my broccoli and they love my baked chicken.
Hey,
And they
right now,
love-
look up your phone and see what it takes to make broccoli, and tell me does it say heat up water?
Shut up.
Is that the only step in broccoli? Heat up water.
Whatever.
Have you ever heard of burned broccoli? Can you
whatever,
burn
hater.
broccoli? You
Whatever,
can't burn
hater.
it because it's made in a pot of water.
You don't know nothing about.
You know what her second meal they love from her? What I do with corn.
Whatever.
I like to dig it out that can and I put it in there. And then I get a can of water and I put it on there. And then I get some Zatarain's. They don't expect that. I sprinkle Zatarain's on my
great
corn.
cook. Whatever.
Yes, ma'am. You good at heating stuff up.
You're good at telling us about what's going on in jail.
Yes, ma'am. And getting out to tell you.
But I'm going to tell you at an arena named Phillips, and you going to tell me at the Atlanta Comedy Theater.
Right, true.
Tomorrow, be there.
All right.
Red Grant show, I know I'll be there. Don't miss it.
Red Grant, Katt Williams, thank y'all for coming through, man.
Yes.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
I see why people come to Wanda's show.
Yeah.
Because Frank Ski puts it down.
That's right. Get on out of here with your crazy ass.
Uh-huh. Is he crazy?
And help me get to the salon. All right, it's the People Station Viewer 3. Your hair is kind of...
That joint was.
My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm.
You don't?
Oops.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's
Come run one of your gnarled
Well,
fingers.
come here.
While you on air.
Well, come
so
on.
they can hear you live.
Come on. Let me come over here.
No. That's not how that works.
Oh, okay. Well, then stay over there.
Don't worry, ain't nobody putting their hands through yours.
That's right. They don't have to. I don't want them to. Get on out of here. You okay? You okay?
Only one of our hands moving while we talk.
Are you all right this morning? Are you okay?
Red Grant, Atlanta Comedy.
Tell Wanda to take off them headphones and that wig.
And make sure
the wig and the headphones come together.
Take off them old ass clothes you got on. How about that? Yeah, they're old.
Versace, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It
She
says
said,
Versace.
I want to apologize to the people at Versace Collection. This is your 2019 summer line that hasn't come out.
But you had to open it up and show us it was Versace. I want to just
No, I didn't have to open it up. These people are on radio. They can't see anything.
Yeah, but you opened it up so we could see it.
Yes,
we see
ma'am.
it. Well, happy
whatever
for you.
store is for the Black Lane Bryant.
That's right. That's right. Very proud.
Okay, let's
Very
play some
proud.
music real quick if we can. We going to a break real quick?
Very
All right, cool.
proud.
We go to a break.
Shout outs to Forever 21
Yeah.
and the Necklace Collection.
That's right. Shout out.
They don't
to
remember
you.
me for wilding out, right? I'm not the right one to Jones on.
Get this inmate out of here.
If you can't get your blood pressure down, you can't call me down.
Whatever, little mama.
If your cholesterol is 600,
Whatever, little mama.
I'm Lil Mama's baby daddy.
No, you little mama.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey,
And what
girl.
are you, girl? You probably shouldn't talk about sizes.
Oh, that's okay.
You big on the radio.
That's right. And you're big
Turn
in
it
prison.
down.
And you're
yes,
big
ma'am.
in prison.
I've never been to prison.
You have
19
several
felonies,
times.
no convictions.
Yeah,
Knock it
yeah.
off. Prison and jail aren't the same. No.
Okay,
No.
Calm
No.
down. Calm down.
Only one of us has $12
Calm
worth
down.
of jewelry on.
Oh,
No.
No, $12.
No. That all is available. If you want to have Wanda's jewelry, please go to Citgo or Quick Trip at any point. If you buy 2 packs of Newport 100s, they will give you everything Wanda has on right now for $7.99, and it comes with a free car wash. Won't you come on down?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
The show starts at 9. Wanda gets to the stage at 9:17. Please come on down.
Go, Shay, please come get Miss Katt and do her hair.
She's almost out of breath. Be careful now. Even on the radio, you can hear the fact that exercise has crept into her vocabulary.
Hurry up, little mama. We're done.
You already used that one. Don't repeat your
and
jokes,
I'm
Fresh
looking
Comic.
again.
All right, go ahead. We'll go to
Get
break.
your ass out of here.
themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow. From a distance, obviously, I don't know how well you about Kanye rants. What's going on with Kanye? From a distance, obviously, I don't know how well you know Kanye. I don't know if you've been around Kanye, but from a distance, what do you suspect's going on?
I suspect that we're pretty awful people if we say that somebody got a mental illness and then we watch what they do. If you say somebody got special needs, then why would you be watching them and holding them accountable like everybody else? Wouldn't you grade them on a curve? Wouldn't you go, whew, this guy? Because, I mean, what are we reacting to? What are we reacting to? You're the one that put him in a position where he thought he was God and could call himself Jesus. And you're the one told a guy that writes musical lyrics that he was a genius. Mm-hmm. You're the one that's like, so what do you expect? The guy married a whore. Like, what?
Oh, Lord.
Like, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, married her because she was one. Not he didn't know. He understood that he wanted that. He courted that. That's what he wanted to base his family on.
She got a good heart, though.